but it never hurts to take a moment and discuss your plans and make sure that what you're planning on doing is the absolute correct thing to be doing with human safety of this nature.
Burns says the department is trying to make the approval process more efficient. He says the DFO expert in BC should be available at any time, but could be tied up himself trying to free a whale.
Excited for not only the kids, but the whole basketball community.
The National Basketball League season runs from November to the middle of April. The city says the team's name and ticket prices will be announced by the owners soon. A new school officially opened in Conroe.
As well, some of those periods of rain at times heavy, and that's the name of the game right across the island. Periods of rain or drizzle continuing for tonight. Overnight lows are going to be quite mild, though. We're talking about temperatures dropping only to the 12 to 14 degree range for most of Newfoundland. Now for Thursday, some lingering showers in the morning for the Avalon, then gradual clearing through the morning with some sunshine into the afternoon. Again, we start the day near 14. We'll be seeing highs near 15 tomorrow, so not much of a temperature difference from start to finish as winds come in from the north, and we'll basically keep our temperature capped here. But again, brightening skies, so some good news there. Places like Bonavista.
Long distance, 1-800-563-8255. Oh my God, I got a frog. PTSD Buddies co-founders, Jamie and Vanessa McWhorter. Good afternoon to you both.
How's it going, Cecil?
Fantastic.
Hey.
Nice to see you, Vanessa. First time we've met face to face. Vanessa, I understand that you go on tour with Jamie and speak as well about PTSD and living with it.
I do. I go with him just to show what the other side of PTSD looks like. It doesn't just affect him as the person dealing with it, but it affects our whole family, including our kids and our extended family. So I speak on behalf of, what we've done to help try and not really curb, but manage our PTSD, but I help our kids manage their anxieties and their mental issues as well.
As a result of ex-military or military or first responder or someone who was had something traumatic happen to them.
First of all, educating yourself. Educating yourself about what symptoms they may have, what the mental illness may carry over, whether it be anger, whether it be sadness, depression, manic depression and stuff like that. Once you kind of learn it, then once you live in it, you try to basically be compassionate, right? You're kind of like a buffer between the family, so you kind of take the blunt of it so that the kids don't feel the effects. Self-care for yourself is definitely a highlight that you need to do, because without you taking care of yourself, you can't take out or care of your family, nor can you take care of your children. So it's very, very important that not just educating, but taking care of yourself. And for us, we've learned some tools to manage our PTSD. We have a safety word in our house.
I know the word.
Yeah, turnip.
Yeah.
Nobody likes the vegetable turnip. So, and that is basically giving our children empowerment, because if dad becomes too overwhelming,
Yes.
and he's in a mood or whatever, they can
Right.
basically take that power and say, I've had enough, and take a break. Now, we always come back and redress the issue. We don't let the issue go astray, right?
Unresolved is not left unresolved.
Exactly, right? You can't leave them unresolved. You have to come to a conclusion, whether it be at the dinner table, or if you just need an extra day, maybe, you know, the following supper, you can come back and redress it. But you need to come to a conclusion as a family and an understanding so that everyone can carry forward and not get kind of left behind.
Great. These co-founders, and we're here to take your calls this afternoon. Now, Brenda Penatanguishing is on the line from Ontario today. Brenda, how are you doing? 8255. I just want to run something by either one of you. You can answer this a question from a listener who's written in and says that he mentally struggles with an incident one time while he was driving a vehicle in Montreal and came within inches of killing himself and his wife and a bunch of people on the road, and has written me a direct message asking me if I can ask you guys. He's saying he came so close, is only alive because of inches, and the person writes me to say I live with this mental struggle often, and because of what happened. And he wants to know if this is a form of PTSD. Being in that traumatic incident at that moment.
It very well could be.
Yeah.
PTSD has no limits to what kind of trauma can bring out the mental illness. If you look up, I think the stats, number one cause of it is child abuse. Right? Or some sort of abuse. Growing up, my brother was hit by a drunk driver when I was 12 years old. So I haven't been formally diagnosed with PTSD. I have only been diagnosed with anxiety myself. But growing up and dealing with the incident for 27 years and having a mother who I believe is undiagnosed with PTSD, but back then in the 90s, they didn't have a name for it, as we spoke earlier, can definitely be an occurrence of PTSD, because it has hit my mom with the effects of PTSD, right?
So you've lived with PTSD your whole life?
Just about. I got my first 12 years were a happy childhood, and then one day, at one moment, someone made the wrong choice, and it went sideways.
Sure.
And it only takes that blink of an eye for your life to change, and then you have to deal with the outcomes of it. Now, I have multiple family members that have different struggles with mental illness. Like I said myself, I was diagnosed with anxiety. Now, I have gone to psychologists, I have gone to counselors, I've done treatment myself, right? And only with treatment have I been able to actually manage my own mental illness so that I can help those that are in my life with other mental illnesses in their struggles.
Because you